The fire is small tonight. I built it low, the way I prefer it out here, from what the last tide left behind. A few gray lengths of driftwood, dry enough along the top side, and a knot of something that was a root once. It caught slowly, and it is burning slowly now, and that suits me. There is no reason to hurry it. A fire on open sand is a different thing from a fire in the stove at Vesper. It has the whole night around it to lean into, and no walls to hold its warmth back to me. So I sit near, and I keep it small, and between the two we manage. I am writing this on long sand itself, sitting where the dry sand begins, my back to the dune grass and the fire set a little to my right, so the light falls across the page and not into my eyes. The tide is a long way out. I can hear it more than see it. A low folding sound down at the far edge of the flats, patient, going about its business without me. I walked the whole length of the sand before I sat down. It is a long walk, and I took it slowly, because there is no other way I care to take it, and by the end of it the light was already going, and my own tracks behind me were filling with shadow. That walk is the reason for this entry, though it has taken me until now, until the fire and the quiet and a flat place to set the ledger to write any of it down. The spit has moved. I mean the low finger of sand at the north end, the one that reaches out toward the shallows. I charted it years ago, and I have the page still, folded into the back of the ledger, the ink gone a little brown at the creases. 640 in some, if I remember the number, and I believe I do. The chart says the spit runs north. The water says otherwise. Tonight it lies to the northeast, longer than I drew it, curved where I had it straight, as though the whole shape of it had turned in its sleep and settled again facing a different way. I did not stand there long over it. There is nothing to stand over. Sand goes where the water sends it. The water keeps its own counsel, and a man who charts a coast learns early that he is drawing a thing in the middle of changing its mind. I took out the chart, knelt with the sea just beyond my hands, and made the correction. I noted it by which entry this is, rather than by any calendar, because out here the entries are the only calendar I keep. The old line stays where it was drawn. The new line lies beside it. Someday someone may hold the page to the light and see the two together, and see how the island breathed between them, in and then out again. Farther along, past the middle of the sand where the beach widens, I came across the tracks. I want to set them down carefully, because they are worth the care. A single walker, coming down toward the water and turning back from it again. The prints fell to either side of a center the way anything on 2 feet lays them down. Left, and then right, and then left again. And that much was ordinary. Nothing else was. I crouched over them a good while to be sure I was seeing it right. Here the print was broad and shallow, 3 points spread like a splayed hand. The next along, on the far side of the line, was narrow and deep, a single long groove. The one past that was round, almost a bowl, its edge clean. Then something near the first again, though not the first, wider than that, and turned the other way. Every print a different foot from the one before it, and nothing in the line to suggest the walker had paused to become anything. The lengths between them changed as well. Some of the steps fell close together, a short reach, and then further along 2 prints would lie a full pace and a half apart, as though whatever leg made it had grown since the last one. A thing in a hurry throws sand behind it, and there was no sand thrown anywhere along the line. Every print was pressed clean and lifted clean at whatever length the step happened to want. This is not the first line of prints I have followed that would not hold its shape. It is the first that would not hold it for even a single step. The other times the change came on slowly, one print to the next hardly worth the remarking, and I walked a fair distance before I was sure of what I was looking at. Tonight I was sure by the 4th print. I followed for perhaps 40 paces, and not once did a shape repeat. I charted where they lay. That is all a chart is for, I marked the line of them from the tide edge to the dry sand and back, and I noted the lengths between. No two of them the same, and none of them rushed. What made them I did not write down because I do not know, and a chart has no room for what a man does not know. It has room only for where a thing is. The tracks are on long sand tonight. Tomorrow the tide will have them and they will be nowhere, and the page will be the only place they ever are. I mention the spit, and I mention the tracks in the same entry only because they happened on the same walk, on the same length of sand, under the same fading light. I would not have you think one had anything to do with the other. They did not. Long sand is large enough to hold two strange things in the same evening and account for neither. The walk is behind me now, and what is left of the evening belongs to the fire. It is burned down low, to the quiet red part where the flame lets go and the wood just holds its heat and glows. I have fed it once since I sat, a single piece, and I do not think I will feed it again. The light on the sand around me is small, a circle I could nearly reach the edge of without standing. Beyond that edge, the beach goes blue and then black, and the water out past that is only a sound. Above the sound, there are stars enough, the ordinary ones in their ordinary places, doing nothing unusual, which is the kindest thing stars can do. The sand under me still holds a little of the day's warmth. If I press my hand flat, it comes up out of the grains, faint, the last of it, like the heat off a stone an hour after the sun has left it. By morning it will be gone, and the sand will be cold, and the tide will be back up near where I am sitting now, and none of this will show. Not the fire, not the kneeling over the chart, not the tracks. That does not trouble me. It is only how the sand keeps its accounts, taking back what it lends, level at the end of every day, owing nothing and owed nothing. The fire is lower again. I will let it be. There is a point where tending a fire becomes its own kind of restlessness, and I passed it a while ago, and now I am only sitting with the thing while it does what fires do. I keep meaning to write something at the close of these, some line to tie the walk and the fire together, and I never can find it, and I am beginning to think there is no such line, and there was never meant to be one. The spit moved. The tracks ran and did not repeat. The fire is going down. The tide is coming in, slowly, from a long way off, in no hurry at all, the way it always has, and the way it always will.